Hi everybody, welcome to A Cup Full of Confessions. I'm Jen and you are tuned in for another episode of True Life. So first and foremost, of course, I have to make my drink. Tonight we are having a pineapple mule. So if anybody has ever had those before, they come in these cool little copper mugs. So I'm going to do the pineapple flavor. So I'm going to muddle a little pineapple with the mint. We have the Tito's handmade vodka and some ginger beer. Of course, you always need your ginger beer and mint. So I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. All right, so we're making the pineapple mule. And we have the Tito's vodka, which all the girls like because it is gluten-free with no carbs. And then we have the Fever Tree ginger beer. I got this from Harris Teeter. So you can't find that in like the little... I won't call any stores out, but you'll have to go to the exclusive luxury grocery stores for that. At least they didn't have it in my store around here. I had to go to it. So, of course, we have the mug. We have the muddler. So this is going to allow me to get the oils out of the mint leaves, which I think mint leaves are the same thing as spearmint. So I have to keep y'all on the up and up. Then we have the ice, of course. And then our mint, limes, and our pineapple. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get right into it. So I don't remember if I washed these off, so let me wash them off right quick. All right, so the first thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and cut me off some pineapple so I can muddle that. Now I generally cut the head off my pineapple first, and a little kitchen hack. So this pineapple looking a little beat up, but it was the darkest in color out of all of the options there, which I think is an indicator of it being sweet. Also, the innermost, whatever these things are called, the innermost, if you pull it out and it comes out easy, like that one just did, that means it's sweet, like me. So that's a good way for you to pick out pineapples when you're at the grocery store. But so I cut off the head first, right? And then it smells sweet. I don't do it like this when I'm at home by myself, but I'm gonna do it like this to make it easier for the show. So, okay. So, and I'm just gonna quarter this so it's easier to work with. And then you know with pineapple, you have that inner core. So we're gonna cut that out of this side and then set that over here to the side. Then I have that one there. And then just cut off the, I don't even know what this is called. I guess the skin of the pineapple. Okay. All right. So we got the skin removed. And let me set my extra stuff over here. Okay. Discarded the extra things. And I'm going to take probably... This mug is not terribly huge, so I'm not going to put a whole lot of pineapple in there. Sometimes you catch seeds, so I'm going to put a few pieces in there. Let me see, maybe 2 more. So those are in there. And then we're going to grab the mint sprigs. Have some of these for garnish, but also for flavor. So I'm going to drop 2 of those down there because mint is small, but it's very strong. So then we have the muddler. We take that and just go in and smush it up. It smells good already. And another recipe that you can make, another cocktail recipe that you can make with the mint will be a mojito. So I could do pineapple mojitos with this also. I just need some rum. But this smells really, really good, and it's a lot of juice in here. So this recipe calls for pineapple juice, but I mean, if you muddle it good enough, you can actually just go with what you have in the container, and it's pretty much all mixed in now. Would you like to see? So it's all mixed in. We have the pulp in there. We have the muddled pineapple and the mint leaves. And now I'm gonna add in some ice. And you know, if you are a bartender, you know that you fill up your cocktail glass all the way to the top with ice. If not, your measurements will not be right. So I pretty much use all my ice. So next we are going in for the vodka. Okay, so this recipe actually called for a half a cup. We're not doing a half a cup. I'm gonna do a shot like I did on my other cocktail. And bear with me just 1 second and I'll get that going, because I don't want to be too thrown off, right? So we're gonna measure out our vodka. And I'm left-handed. So that goes in. And then we have our lime. Wait a minute. Pause. Oh, maybe not pause. That was funny though. Are you recording me still? My knife is not sharp. So these are Michael Irvine. If anybody watches Food Network, this is his knife line. I ordered it off Amazon, but I've had it for like 2 years now. So I guess it's time to get them sharpened up or get some new ones. But anyway, so I'm cutting the lime up. I like to flip stuff over that's curved and cut it on the back. But why is this so hard to cut? Jeez. Oh, it smells so good. Okay, so we're gonna squeeze some fresh lime juice in there. Okay, and then this recipe calls for a cup of ginger beer. So I can kind of eyeball it. Okay, and then we're gonna circle back. My workstation is getting a little dirty, but we're gonna circle back and do a pineapple slice for a little garnish. That goes there. And then we're gonna do a little lime wedge for garnish. This was kind of big for garnish. Let me see if I think I messed it up now. I should have cut it the other way first. Yeah. Let me move this so I don't knock the whole thing over. I don't know what's going on with this lime and why it's so hard to cut through, but this skin is tough. It's probably a GMO lime. You know, everything is up for keeps now. Okay, so this is the drink. That is Pineapple Mule. It has the Tito's vodka, the Forever Tree ginger beer, fresh pineapple, fresh mint leaves. Oh, I need my mint sprig. So we gotta get that in there too. Let me put that in there. See, isn't that beautiful? So tonight, in correlation to the drink, the Mule, we are going to be talking about being equally yoked. And in any relationship, you can be equally yoked or unequally yoked. But tonight, we're going to be talking about in a love relationship, marriage, dating relationship, engagement, what have you. But that's what we're going to be discussing. So follow me upstairs. We're going to kick back in my bedroom and chat it up. welcome to True Life. So we are in my bedroom, my humble abode, my privacy, where it goes down, where nothing is going down right now. But I just wanted to be intimate and talk to you guys about being equally yoked, or unequally yoked for that matter. I have my mule, my pineapple mule. It tastes really good. It tastes really good. So that can stand up to a 5-star Michelin chef. We'll talk about that another day. So anyway, yes, we're talking about being unequally yoked, right? Whenever you're in a relationship, whatever you have, whether it's love life, friendship, even coworkers, or your employment environment, you want to make sure that you're yoked equally with the people that are sharing your space. We have one life to live. You want to make sure that everything just flows, right? So, being yoked, a lot of people think, I was one of those people. When I heard the term unequally yoked or equally yoked, I thought it was talking about the egg yolk, right? The egg needs to be equal, right? Just something like that. But it's not talking about an egg at all. A yoke is like a harness that like an ox or another animal like that size would have around their neck, almost kind of like, imagine like a guillotine, and it's two animals beside each other, like if they're plowing a field of some sort. And if you can imagine, if you have a very small animal and a very like large animal beside each other on the same wooden harness, it will be very uncomfortable for one of the animals, right? Or maybe even both. So that's what it's talking about when it's talking about being yoked. And of course, unequally yoked is like the example that I just gave. And you want to make sure that you are equally yoked in the relationships that you have. So of course, and I'm on my spiritual journey, so I talk to y'all about that quite often. But yes, I'm on my spiritual journey. So I believe it's 2 Corinthians 6:14. I believe that's the Bible verse. It talks about being equally yoked. And in the Bible, it's talking about equally yoked in the sense of your spiritual journey or your spirituality, right? So it's saying that a believer in Christ, a believer in God should not be yoked or sharing a relationship or sharing a life or, experiencing things or whatever with an unequally yoked individual from a spiritual standpoint, right? So I take that and kind of flip it around, and I'm like, even with your beliefs beyond your spirituality, if you, for example, if you like sports and your mate doesn't like sports, or if you like to go out and enjoy the city and you're attached to a homebody, like, we've all heard the saying, opposites attract, and they do attract, because I've been in that position before. Even my ex-husband and I, we were opposites in many senses, but I will say they attract, but they do not last. So when you get connected to somebody, you want to make sure that the things that you're looking at to get involved with that person, whatever is attracting you to that person, you have things in common. Because when you're in a relationship, you just want to make sure that it's just not always about like having to sacrifice your enjoyment or your needs or whatever you look forward to doing. You don't want to always have to sacrifice that for your mate. So that's why it's important that you're equally yoked, right? So I was in a relationship. I was married before. I am now divorced. I'm a divorcee. I was with my ex-husband, and everything will be unnamed. So nobody knows who this person is. So, it's almost like a fictional story, but it is not. It's my life. So it was a lot that I went through, and I have the right to speak on it and talk about, these are my experiences. So I was in this relationship. I think we were together for like 10 years. So we were together for quite a while. I think we were dating for like 7 years, and he was a good guy for a lot of the time that we were together. At a certain point, I came up into a situation where I was unemployed, and he helped me out. He took care of me for a little while, and I bounced back on my feet, and I started real estate then. I was at a transition point with my career, and we actually found out, we had went out, let's see, we went to a Nas concert in Orlando, and I got really, really sick while we were there. I was like turning up and all of this stuff. The next morning I was like really, really ill, and drinking alcohol, and it turns out that I was pregnant with our son. And immediately after becoming pregnant, he proposed to me. I was doing a launch party for a real estate team that I was just starting, which was Nest Seekers. And let's see, so he proposed, and then we did the traditional, you're engaged for a year and then you get married. So we were engaged for a year, we got married the following year, we were together for 3 years, and it was complete hell. I didn't like being married at all. I do look forward to getting married again, but if it has to be anything like that, I'll pass. I'd definitely rather stay single as opposed to getting in another relationship that is just not the right fit. Being in a situation where you're unequally yoked, right? So anyway, before I even got to that point, I pray a lot. And even before I was on my spiritual journey, I would pray a lot. And I talked to God, and I asked God to give me a sign, an undeniable sign, if I was supposed to vacate this relationship. And he did. And I didn't listen. And, you know, in the Bible it talks about obedience is more important than sacrifice. So I was disobedient. And I think God knew what was in store for me had I went down that road. And of course I couldn't see it at the time. Now I see it clear as day. But I couldn't see it at that time, so I continued on with the relationship. Like I said, we got engaged, we got married, and then boom, there I was. So I will talk to you guys about a couple times where I saw some red flags, and it was very obvious that I was going down the wrong road. But it's kind of like, I almost felt like at different times I was in too deep, so I had to keep going with it. So anyway, yes, follow me on my journey. So yes, and like I said, this is the pineapple mule. It is delicious. Honestly, I think it's the best mule I've ever had. So definitely try to make it at home. You know, some of these cocktail recipes, my earring keeps getting caught on my braids. I have locks now. I'm on my lock journey. French braids are like my favorite hairstyle in the whole wide world. So I keep my locks braided up like this most of the time, and I love me a statement earring, okay honey? But they are not conducive to the French braids. They keep getting caught up. So anyway, trying to push them back a little bit so that doesn't continue to happen. So yes, where was I? The wedding day. So we started out planning for the wedding day. I think we started out planning like 9 months ahead of time. Yes. And we made the plans. He had some input. Most of it was my input. And then he suggested that we get a joint bank account because prior to, everything had been separated. So I was just kind of like, what? Joint bank account? Like, okay, I'll consider it when we get married, but we're not married yet. But however, we were so close. I'm like, okay, let's just go for it, because maybe this is kind of like part of what you need to be doing to prove that this is where you need to be, right? So did the joint bank account. And I think we were going to shoot for like we had like a 3-month grace period until we were going to start saving. So on our budget, we split everything down the middle, and we were going to put money into this bank account on a monthly basis for 6 months. And then at that time, when the wedding came around, we would have the money to pay all the vendors. Now, if you've been married before, if you haven't been married before, the vendors, normally they require a deposit at the time of reserving them for your big day. And about 30 days out from the big day, you have to settle up all of your vendor accounts, because they want to ensure they're going to be paid and not wait until the day of. So The first month goes by, and I go back and I'm like, hey, it's time to put money into the account. And he's like, what? I don't need to put money in the account. I'm a grown man. I know how to do this. Da 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 da. And I'm kind of like dumbfounded. And I'm like, you're the one that came up with this idea, but okay, whatever. So I had all my money already. I didn't need to go through the exercise to save, but I wanted to entertain it because that's what he suggested. So when he rejected the idea, his own idea, I was just like, okay, whatever. I didn't understand why he rejected it, but he did. So that's what it was. So that was a red flag, right? I ignored it. Fast forward 5 months, and now 30 days out from the wedding, everything is due. I go back and I'm like, hey, everything is due for the balances on the vendor accounts. Now, mind you, because I have flexibility with my schedule, when I would meet the vendors during the daytime and he was at work and I had to pay deposits and everything, I was just writing checks and swiping my card, just getting everything scheduled and paid. That was another red flag. But I didn't think about it like that because we're in it together, so I'm looking at it like, okay, I just have to do what I need to do. So anyway, go back to him 5 months later, because all the vendors have to be paid, and he says he hasn't saved anything. I think I already said red flag. So anyway, I'm kind of like blown away. And I reach out to his father. I share what happened because I'm just blown away. I just can't believe this is happening, right? Like, not on my wedding day. Now I'm at this point personally, like, do you go with this wedding? Do you go on with this wedding? Do you cancel it? What do you do? And honestly, I was just like, just cancel it, Jan. And I had a friend, my best friend at the time, honestly, and she has passed away a few years ago. So I love you, Tiara. May you rest in peace. But I was talking to her about it, and she had just got married maybe a year or so before me. And she was like, girl, don't do it. Don't do it. If you feel like this now, do not do it. Because she was having regrets. And I was just like, oh, it's so much planned, and my dress is so beautiful. We have people coming in from out of town, and all of these things I was considering instead of the important thing. Are you happy? Is this going to actually work out? Because none of that stuff, when I look back on it now, none of it matters. So anyway, I went on with it. I went on with it. And then so wedding day comes around. So we planned, we had a honeymoon plan for after the wedding to go to Dominican Republic. And a friend was like, plan your honeymoon a week later. So then you have time to kind of unwind and, you know, just get settled and everything after the wedding. And then it's kind of like something to look forward to. So that's what we did. So, ooh, excuse me. So the night before the wedding, now I had already told my fiance, when family comes in from out of town, they need to have hotels because their house doesn't need to turn into the innkeeper. So he's like, okay, cool. So by me being the bride, and you're not supposed to see the groom before you walk down the aisle, I got a suite where we had the suite reserved to enjoy after the wedding because we didn't want to go back to the crib. So I was there, relaxing, maxing, had everything there, just being, you know, cozy and comfortable. Did not know my house completely turned into the innkeeper. I'm talking about, it was so many people at my house. I had a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-story home. It was so many people at my house, they were sleeping on my floor in my master bedroom. I did not like that at all. I didn't know about it at the time, but that's what happened. So red flag number whatever we're on, right? So I'm at the hotel. The next morning I wake up. I'm there by myself. I'm just taking my time. I do a facial. I'm getting my makeup done professionally at the venue. There's a bridal and a groom suite, so I'm getting my makeup done in the bridal suite. my bridesmaids, my whole wedding party, everybody is supposed to be there and they know what time they're supposed to be there. So I had to go to the car to get something out of my car, and I leave out of my suite and I'm walking down the hallway, and one of my bridesmaids, which was my future sister-in-law, is walking up the hall to pass me and just passes me and doesn't acknowledge me at all.